Most people have no idea how strict the rules for photojournalists are. They know things like we're not allowed to stage or pose things, but it goes beyond that. When we're documenting something that's happening, we have to take into account the content and the context of what's going on. So, for example, if there's a protest, you have to accurately portray that the size of the crowd or who's talking to who, or if someone looks like they're yelling, are they actually yelling? You can't publish a photo that someone looks like they're yelling if they're not actually yelling. The same thing, you don't want to have somebody look like they're threatening someone in a way that they weren't actually doing. So you have to portray the scene accurately. And this gets down to even like lens choice. A wide angle or a telephoto can make the scene look certain ways, and you have to make sure it matches what was actually happening in that moment. And then as far as editing or processing an image, like you can't take anything out, you can't add anything in. I mean, you can't Photoshop out a crack in the sidewalk, not a single thing. And as far as the color goes, you know, the camera doesn't always capture things exactly the way you see it with your eye. So you can have some latitude there to make adjustments. The same thing with brightening or darkening certain areas of the photos. Dodging and burning is what that's called. You can do that. You can't make it look beyond what the truth of the situation was. And people think that photojournalists don't ask for consent, but 90-some% of the time, consent is required to run a news photo. You go into a crowd at a high school basketball game and you photograph a kid cheering, you're not just going to run that, you're going to ask the parent. You get consent from them. It's only in the most extreme, fast-paced, hard news, breaking news sort of situations where consent can't always be obtained because of how busy or hectic or whatever's going on. And it's only if the photographer and their editors feel like the right for the public to know about something major in their community or their country is overriding to, you know, any one individual's public perception. And yes, you can always find an example of someone who didn't follow these, but the vast majority of photojournalists are following these ethics and these guidelines because they love their job. They care about what they do. They care about truth and social justice and information being shared throughout the world. And they take seriously creating a historical document. And they know if they break these rules that everything they did before or do after will be called into question. They will not be able to get a job. They will lose their livelihood. So we all take this very seriously, and we're doing it for you because we care about creating a record of the past for the people in the present so that there is a document for future generations.